Hey guys, Outdoor Enthusiast 88 here again. So I've been testing out a new holster for about a month now, and actually I'll show you, I've been running it with my Taurus Model 85, unloaded right now, but Taurus Model 85 in stainless steel. I've done a couple of reviews on this. Awesome revolver. Actually, I did not buy this in the mindset of concealed carry, but a lot of you mentioned with the first couple holsters I showed you guys, the cheap Uncle Mike ones, that you really need something better for a revolver. You could actually pocket carry it. It's a little heavy. In fact, I could have bought an ultralight if I wanted to, but I really wanted to buy this revolver more along the lines for not really concealed carry, but more of a shooter and a good range revolver, a good range gun. And it is. It's excellent. Now, the holster I've been wearing, if I can get it off, is a Alien Gear Cloak Tuck IWB. I think it's the 3.0 version, the newer one. Just want to kind of show you guys. So I've been wearing it for about a month now. It's getting kind of scraped up and worn in nicely. And we'll talk about, they say it's a good, you don't have to really break it in. Somewhat, you don't have to break it in. Some you do. Revolvers are a different animal entirely, I've noticed, for concealed carry, at least for inside the waistband. And I do carry this revolver sometimes, just throw it in a pocket with a pocket holster. However, this is very comfortable, and I'm actually very surprised at how comfortable it can be. So let's take this inside and give you guys a closer look. So let's talk about what you get when you buy one of these holsters online from Alien Gear. So first off, of course, you get the holster. It comes in this nice plastic bag with a little Ziploc on the end to help protect it. It also comes with a really neat hardware kit. I've actually never seen one of these before come with a holster, but it has a bunch of spacers deciding on how you want to wear it, how loose you want it. So it really helps you really customize how this actually is set up for you. Right now, this is set up in the configuration it came with for me. I did have to kind of play around with it a little bit to make it work, and I might actually play around with some of these spacers as well in the future to kind of play around to see if I can figure out how to make this a little more easier to reholster as well as draw, because right now it's a little sticky, but it's starting to kind of wear in nicely, which is good. It also comes with a bunch of paperwork, and before I open this, it does come with a cool sticker. I know everyone likes a cool sticker. And it also talks about on the front here, best holsters, 2016, neoprene padding, steel retention core, alien skin surface. We'll talk about that. Has a little, customer service guarantee. Here's the list of hardware that comes in that little bag I just showed you guys. More spacers, more flathead screws, Allen key, different kinds of nuts and washers. They do have a really good guarantee. First off, they have a lifetime warranty as well as a 30-day test drive. So if you don't like it, you can take it back in 30 days. And also these shells, they don't mention on there, these shells here can actually be taken off, and you can go and either purchase or get new shells to switch it out. All right, this is kind of cool, little instructions kind of showing you the best way to put it on, the best way to wear it, talking about kind of like the 430 positions, probably ideal, that kind of thing right there. There you go, talking about cant, ride, retention. So it really helps if you never really had one of these kinds of holsters before. This really helps walk you through this kind of holster, which is really good. So this neoprene padding on the back here, the best way I can describe it is kind of like a wetsuit material. It's really comfortable. I mean, it really helps with the flexibility of the holster. You can see the wings on the side here help make it so there isn't really not much of a break-in period. And what they have in the middle here is actually, they call it a steel retention core. I think the website is called like a spring steel core, and you can actually hear it. So it's like a very thin piece of steel in there. And what that's going to help do is, because the revolver has a cylinder, which is a little different than running your usual semi-automatic, it has, not only is it going to be bulgy on one spot here, but it's going to be bulgy on the inside. So with a steel core on the inside here, this is really going to help with making it more comfortable. And it really, really does help. And then of course, going further here, they also have this, they call it an Alien Gear surface here. You can kind of see, alien skin looking thing, or alien skin surface, I think they call it. It's kind of like a faux leather kind of material, which is pretty nice. I mean, I don't see any problem there. You can see it definitely wears in as you try to mess around with like drawing and reholstering and things like that. I'll show you guys. It holsters just fine. Definitely a good retention. And of course, this is even on a very tight setting either. So I mean, you really have to jam it down there. I need to play with some of these screws still. This one, for instance, I need to I'm thinking about changing the spacer out here, and actually I might change out these spacers. I'm gonna play around with the hardware kit as I wear this more. But you can see how this holster, I mean, with a revolver, it's a little different than a semi-automatic. Now that being said, if you can see on the inside there, that being said, I really don't think that it's that much different when carrying it, because you can see how that steel core really helps make it flat. You see that there? So it's something where it might seem a little more bulgy on the pant side, and I'll show you guys what it looks like on here in a second, but it's that steel core in the inside there really doesn't make it too bad. Because if you compare it to something like what I usually wear, is I either throw on one of these, real like simple Kydex holsters with a nice flat surface here, but this of course does not disperse the weight like this one does. And then you've also probably seen my review on this Hilux here, Hilux Tactical. Now the difference of course between semi-automatic and a revolver is the fact that it's more of a flat side anyways, so there's not really a bulge there, which makes revolvers a little more tricky to carry, or in theory, but you can look at the way the steel core kind of helps flatten it out, which is good, because if you had used like just a regular backing like this Hilux on a revolver, you'd have a bulge and you definitely feel that cylinder a little bit more. So I have the Alien Gear Cloak Tuck at about the 5 o'clock position with the Taurus in it, and I'm driving along here, and the really cool, interesting part about driving with a revolver with inside the waistband is that cylinder kind of tucks away, like where the seat meets the seat cushion meets the back of the seat, which is kind of interesting because that makes it so it actually feels a little more comfortable than when you're usually wearing like a shield or something that has more of a flat piece to it, So it's more of a flat piece of metal versus a revolver with some curves, and it just so happens the one big curve on the cylinder gets tucked away in a corner. So before I show you guys how to put this on, how it looks, how it feels, I'll show you guys the other option I've been using is one of these cheap in the pocket holsters. Of course, this is definitely a more comfortable option by far for all day wear, but this is something where if you're in a rush, you can throw it in a pocket. And of course, I highly recommend one of these if you are going to put this revolver in a pocket, because not only does it help keep the revolver nice and sturdy, it'll help kind of keep it like this in your pocket, but also you can't really access the trigger, which is good. And even if you could, the hammer is stuck on the way on in there, if you can see that. The hammer is not going to go far back. So that's a good option to have. And really, I mean, honestly, I throw these in like a jacket pocket, especially if one of the ultra lightweight revolvers. I mean, there's not a lot of printing there. You can see it's not too bad. And then you also have a revolver now at a moment's notice. So that's an option. It really is. I mean, I do like these little holsters. These are like 10 bucks, little Uncle Mike's. So that is an option. But going forward here, I'll show you guys. There you go. Now, how to put this on, I would recommend actually running it with a revolver in it first, especially if it's your first time putting it on. Probably leave it unloaded until you kind of get a feel for it. But what you're going to want to do is, and I'll put this down for a second, is you actually want to, first off, have a good belt. This is actually a blue Alpha Gear EDC hybrid belt. Still running this, it works really well. Just loosen your belt up. You want to put the holster right in here. Sometimes you have to unbuckle your pants, sometimes you don't. It really depends on the day, I guess. What'd you have for lunch? Let's go ahead, write it down. Get it in there. Get the clips, clamp down. There you go. These are definitely a little more work to get on, honestly, but in the end, I mean, they work really well. And these clips that came on this are really tight. You can see they clip on really well. And go ahead, get it organized on your belt. Get your belt back all buckled in. There you go. So this is how it looks, all right? We're sort of at, I probably want to slide over just a little bit if I can. You're sort of at the 4:30, 5 o'clock position right now, which is ideal. You can see that. And you can just pull it like this. I do want to play with some of the retention because it's not, being a revolver, it's not as easy to draw as a semi-automatic, I noticed, with these kind of holsters, because you have the cylinder to clear, and you have to clear the cylinder on both the padding on the inside as well as the Kydex shell. So I actually have to kind of twist and pull, which isn't bad. And a reholster is pretty good. So final thoughts on this Alien Gear Cloak Tuck 3.0 for the Taurus 85. I love it. I mean, I really think that they did a good job designing this. With a revolver, the way it's designed, you really have to kind of balance between comfort level as well as usability and concealability. And the fact that they actually managed to bring a holster design where it kind of flattens it out nicely here, even with that nice thick cylinder on there. And the fact that you can still draw it fairly easily and clear the cylinder. You can clear the trigger guard. It does have, of course, a trigger guard and a trigger kind of indent there to kind of help protect from accidentally pulling the trigger, which is nice. And then if you look on the inside there's a couple of ledges in there to help guide when you're reholstering, which is good because, of course, revolvers have a little more curves than a typical, like a shield or a semi-automatic. So it's nice to see that they have a guide here to kind of help guide you in to reholster this. So yeah, I think they definitely knocked this out of the park. I love it. I mean, it's really comfortable. It's even comfortable when you drive. So it's something where you can wear it all day, and that revolver and that extra thickness with that cylinder there is not going to bother you as much as something like this. So, all right guys, well, hey, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions below. I'll try to answer them. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next review.